was just at a conference this past weekend, and it was on, my stuff was on speed stuff, but we had a couple of presenters come in, national presenters come in and talk about this concussion epidemic that's going on. And some people have been starting to work on this over the last couple of years of how can we eliminate it? Where is it coming from? Because if we can't identify why it's happening or why it's become such a big thing, then it's hard to treat it. And what they found out was females actually are at higher risk than males for concussions. Now, I know that sounds weird because we think of all football. And football does still rank number one in concussions, but number two is girls soccer with the head balls and stuff like that. And what they're finding out is the circumference of the neck. The neck muscles make a huge deal of who's getting the concussions, how prevalent they are, how much they can take, all that kind of stuff. Because if I can take an impact and I have more muscle and strength there, that I can withstand some of that, absorb some of it, it's going to limit my chance of having a concussion or having long-term effect. So that's a big deal that we got to look at. Strengthening the neck is what they're saying now. Gentleman that presented out there was from New Jersey, and he took it over the last 4 years. They started a neck strengthening program. And his first year there, they had 16 individuals that were out with concussions. Following year 8, 2 years ago 5, this past year 2. And they've implemented that strength training program, and they've seen results. Now, is that scientific fact and all this kind of stuff? No. Just like Doctor said, it's in the beginning phases of trying to find out what they need to do. Yeah, you can make the greatest helmet in the world. Okay, but just like I tell a kid, you can buy the Michael Jordans, doesn't mean you're going to dunk just because I bought Michael Jordan shoes. All right, it's the same type of process. Just like we strengthen up our body to help prevent against injuries, we need to strengthen the neck to help prevent against some of these concussions. And they talk about it. You can add about a pound into your neck, circumference-wise, you can help reduce some of that, the concussion rate by about 5%. Doctor is right when he says the younger you are, the longer it takes for an athlete to recover from a concussion. Young athletes can take anywhere between 10 to 14 days where most of those symptoms are gone. Maybe not totally, but a lot of those symptoms are gone. And you get the headaches. And just because a kid gets rung in a game where he might be knocked, he might not have those symptoms till later that night or the next day. That's the difference about concussions. If I break my arm, it's broken. Right then. It's not going to break later on, like I'll walk, all of a sudden walk and hit my arm, breaks. Oh, it broke. It just doesn't happen like that. But with concussions, it can happen later on where actually the symptoms show up. So that's what you got to look at, what's going on. Because I know that scares a lot of parents. And if we don't start addressing that problem now, you're going to see a lot less football players, youth football players, probably in America. They're all going to start switching, probably flag, because even soccer, the second highest rated males is soccer, with the head balls and everything like that, when it comes to concussion. But that's right. The level of it is very slim. You think of how many kids play in this organization, how many kids play in the CFA. You know, you might find 1, 2, maybe 3 that have had it than last year, maybe. Okay? So you think about how many kids there are and how many actually had the concussion. So that's what we got to look at overall as well, is are there 10 kids on a team having it? That's the case, and wow, we're really out of control here. But there's about 3.8 to 4 million concussions diagnosed each year in youth athletics from, I think they say somewhere around age 10 up to the end of high school, about age 18 is what it is on average in the United States, 4 points, about 4 million. All right, so that's what we're looking at. And like I said, this gentleman and I were discussing a lot of different things of how to strengthen the neck. And I'm trying to work on some stuff back here to try to develop some programs just like he has out there to really get athletes to understand, hey, we can start strengthening these necks. If we can just prevent it or limit how bad that injury is going to be, then we did our job. We did our job to help these athletes get better, and that's what the whole thing is, protecting the athletes, helping them have fun, helping them continue to grow.